Let's take a look at the next drill in our butterfly series. So this drill here is going to be building on the progression of the 2-1-2 series. This one, we're going to remove the snorkel but keep the fins. Now, where this drill will be challenging, or an aspect of this drill can be challenging, especially for athletes who are not very good with connecting the breath to the whole stroke. So this would be kind of a great drill to kind of focus on those individual items. So let's go into the key points of this and what we look for. Here in this progression, as we stated, we're going to be looking at wearing fins. So here, the first thing that we look for is that our feet are pointing, which we absolutely see because we are wearing those short fins. Now, in this version of the drill, we are going to be using a flutter kick. As we kind of mentioned, there are a lot of layers to the butterfly stroke itself. So kind of introducing things in a progression or in a progressive model where you're going 1, 2, 3 can kind of really help an athlete. So as we look for here in our flutter kick, what we want to look for is going to be what we look for is a natural bend in the knee. So what do we kind of mean by that? What we mean is we don't want to see the legs kind of staying straight like this when we kick. A lot of power and quick burst of speed is going to be generated. However, this will not last very long and it'll give out really, really quickly. Let's explore a couple of the other extremes. So this here would be another extreme where the knee is significantly, or the foot is significantly out of the water and that knee is really approaching that 90-degree bend. What we would see from here is just kind of kicking air, making a little bit of contact with the water. Here, what we would see is that the legs are kind of coming into the body and the knees are being drawn in. Now, here we would make a lot of contact with the surface of the water, and it's going to happen very quick. However, that speed won't last, or there's no power behind it. So we have to be able to get a kick, a bend in the knee, a natural bend in the knee, be able to move with a balance of speed and power. So the cue that we like to give our athletes here is to think about kind of having a ball under them, and they have to really be able to slide that foot down and forward really, really, really quickly. So that way that when they make contact with that ball, there's going to be a lot of power behind it. So each foot, so there has to be a level of where the feet are coming in under the body. Now, in this drill, so what we're going to look at, we're going to go 2 arms one side, a single double, and then the 2 arms on the other side, and we're just going to kind of repeat that pattern. Then that when the single arm is done, the non-stroking arm here will stay up at the side. So here we'll go over the breath first since our athlete is taking that breath, and this can be again, one of those challenging aspects of the stroke. So here what we're going to see is that the head is starting the lift as that hand here is passing that shoulder. And what we should notice is that the head here is extremely low to the surface of the water. Eyes can be looking a little bit diagonal here. And then what we want to really be able to do is get the head in the water. By that time, that hand is in our peripheral vision, or kind of making a T here with the body. And then, so we want to be able, and then what's created is this stream of water kind of going like this. Kind of see that landing position causing that water to go forward. That's exactly what we would want to see with this as the stroke is being performed. So let's go over just the single arm portion. Because again, we mentioned there's a lot of things kind of going on here. We like to look for the hand coming out at that suit or at the top of the hip, kind of within this range. Typically, we like it being a little bit closer to the hip, but here our athlete is all right with that. As that hand is coming out, what we want to see is that palm here facing behind us. And then as we are making a T with the body, then what we do is switch that hand to be able then to rotate down. And look at how nice and low this arm is to the water. That's exactly what we would love to see. Now here on that landing position, we see the arms landing nice in front of the shoulder. This isn't something that we really like to see for our senior or our age group swimmers. Developmental swimmers, we like them kind of be just about right here, just outside the shoulder. And then on that landing, we want to make sure that we're pushing those arms forward and pressing that chest down. That's really going to help here get the hips up. When then we are going to be, and just repeat that. So then when we go double, it's going to kind of be looking for those same things and kind of feeling that wingspan being really, really long. Arms here being really here behind us. As we hit that T, then we rotate those hands down. And then we look for that landing. Now, if you kind of get a landing something like this will tell you that the connection of that breath is going to be off a little bit. We want to see the momentum and the energy of the landing position to really go up and forward. And then we just kind of look for those same things again on the other side. And our athlete decided to do 2-2-2. So there are also variations of this drill. So here, as we kind of mentioned, just the kick, we like to see that as that foot gets up, then we have to really make sure that we're kicking to get that ball. And as we take kind of a look here, we can kind of see the outskirts of that fin through the bubbles. So here we're a decent layer under the body, which is a good thing to be able to see. And then here on the return view, we're just going to kind of take a look for those key things again. So again, nice and low here. Head is in the water as the arms start to get inside that peripheral vision, or kind of making that T here with the body. Hands here facing behind us. Arms are nice and low. And then there we go. We see that crash landing. However, everything's just kind of moving here nice and forward for us. Moderate, nice kick here behind us with the flutter kick. And we're doing a really, really nice job. Now that landing position, so here again, remember we're coming in from the shoulders. Right there. Really nice job right there. Then we're going to transition here to going under the water, kind of taking a look at that catch. So here we kind of see that we got a little bit of a round off here. What we would want to see is as the arms are engaging into the catch, what we want to see is the hands here should be directly under the shoulders. So what we look for to formulate, or for the shoulders and the arms to formulate, are going to be this, just what we call this power triangle position, right here and right there. Establishing those power triangles here are really going to be something that is very beneficial for the athlete. This will help them find that best combination of speed and power, so that way when we grab, we're going to be able to really pull through. Also, the shape that we'd like to kind of see here as we're going into the push phase is the push to the belly button. And then as the athlete hits the belly button, then we're going to kind of do a little bit of a sweep out under the body. There's a lot of good things here going with the butterfly. So just remember, every athlete develops differently, may understand some of the concepts a little bit differently. So just make sure that we're going to be showing patience with them and continuing to give them the best feedback to be able to help them explore and make those desired corrections. Overall here, if you're still at the video at this point, I know it's a long one, a lot of moving parts with it, but be sure to drop a like. It really, really helps us out. And a lot of this shows that you might be watching this and not subscribed. So please consider subscribing. We've got a lot of stuff on our channel.